the News, episode number 122. In the chat, there's Chadwick, Green Thunder, who's already on the stream, and TC. Welcome, everybody.
What's up?
People.
Welcome to the Shower of Shit, the We Call a Show, 6 days a week. On a Friday, which is a very rare thing. But then last week, still carry on. Go on. No. Teenage vandal Wanksy forced to scrub graffiti after family shames him on Facebook.
I'd be more embarrassed with the name Wanksy, but okay.
TC likes your name, Trucker.
A teenager,
Why, thank you. Thank you, TC.
A teenager branded Wanksy spent days scrubbing his graffiti from his hometown after he was caught and shamed by his own family. You know, when I seen this, I thought that he just named himself that. Like, because I don't know if you've heard of the guy Banksy.
Yeah, I've heard of Banksy.
Yeah.
He's the one that shredded a thing right after it done auction.
Because I just thought he was some kid trying to be edgy, so trying to call himself Wanksy or something. But yeah, the teenage boy from Stony Stratford, Milton Keynes, was caught on CCTV spraying crude drawings and slogans across doors, lampposts, and walls in the historic market town. It's not historic. I mean, the town itself is only like 50 years old. Not that fucking far. I think it was in the UK because in the 60s in the UK we built a bunch of like new towns. Milton Keynes was one of them.
It's older than we are.
After the owner of the CCTV published photos of the mystery vandal on Facebook, he was spotted and publicly shamed by a member of his own family. The teen spent hours at a time wiping the graffiti from around the town after residents nicknamed him Wanksy. The public shaming prompted the boy to apologise to everyone in the town and promised to remove offending graffiti. He wrote, "I've recently been caught on CCTV vandaling some property in Stony Stratford. And for that I want to apologise. I do not know what I was thinking and why I did it. I'll be clearing off the graffiti and I'll never be doing it again. I'm genuinely sorry."
Sorry he got caught.
More than likely, yeah.
Yeah.
The teenager later added, I haven't looked for materials to move the paint. Due to it being a Sunday, I cannot get materials right now. I'll go get them first thing tomorrow to sort this out. All graffiti had been removed by Tuesday. The homeowner who published the photos supported the boy's actions. You know, he was outed by someone in his own family. He's been publicly named and shamed. And probably a house outcome than anything the police will do. He was supported by some residents. One resident commented on Facebook, "Good lad, you're sorting out your useful mistakes and putting it back to how it was before. It was vandalised." However, some people were less impatient. Town Councillor Cliff Brett told him vandalism is a serious offence with punishment of up to 10 years imprisonment. I think 10 years in jail is a bit harsh.
A bit, yeah.
I mean, there are fucking pedophiles that get less than that.
Yeah.
When the signs in graffiti first appeared in the town a month ago, residents of the historic town were horrified. Paul Bartlett, a former Milton Keynes councillor for the town, said it was simply awful. We take a great deal of pride in our historic town, whoever is responsible needs to reflect upon what they have done. Well, he did that, or at least he was forced to do that anyway. 2 people watching this right now. 2 people. Bad days when there are more people on the stream than there are actually watching the stream. Oh, 3 people now.
Well, it is Friday. Just saying.
Yeah. Trying to tell me people have lives outside of live streams.
Oh. Also, remember, you usually don't stream on Fridays, so.
Yeah. Yeah, there's only 2
Listen,
watching.
I-
Someone could get a cheat the stream out. No, I didn't. I tweeted out.
I have no life. I do nothing all day. Well, except for
We noticed.
myself.
Yeah, we noticed. Like, you're somehow the person with the most boring life than I do.
The Batman.
I mean, little. I'm probably bigger than you, Batman. I mean, little. Thanks, DC.
Yeah, how big are you? How tall are you then?
5'11" and a bit.
I can't hear you at all.
5'11" and a bit.
Nope, still can't hear you.
Can I hear anyone else?
He,
5'11" and a bit.
Can you hear me?
he's 5'11".
Yeah, so am I. I don't know why, but I can hear him on the YouTube side, but I can't hear him in the StreamYard.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Refresh.
Yeah, maybe he needs to refresh.
One of us needs to. I can hear you all right. Hold on.
Yeah, I can just go out and come back in again.
F5 is a hell of a button.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Right, now try saying something.
Hello?
I'll take that as a no.
Probably not. That's weird.
Nope.
That is weird.
Yeah, I don't really like that.
I can
Hearing.
hear Trucker when he talks. For instance,
Say what?
say something, Trucker.
Something.
There,
Bum.
No,
I can hear you now.
can you hear me now?
Yep. Watch it, I'll be able to hear you, not Trucker.
I'm in a hinky spot right now, so.
Technical difficulties, people. They happen all the time.
Stupid anonymous today.
Anyway, man who urinated all over Starbucks in Pennsylvania has been identified. Police there. Someone's just streaming in the background.
Diversity training.
Someone's just streaming in the background.
And then again, I've lost his fucking voice.
Diversity training.
Yes, because I can't hear you at all. I'll just hold on. I'll just drop out and come back in.
Wait a minute. You couldn't. I'm confused now. Welcome to the technical difficulty stream.
Yeah.
Pennsylvania's very own wet bandit has been outed. Police in Martindale, Township say they've identified a man who urinated behind the counter at Starbucks on Saturday night, leaving himself on boxes containing cups, coffee filters, and the employee sink. Just why? And it's a Saturday night, so I'm going to assume the guy was drunk.
Probably.
You can
Well,
hear
half
me now.
their coffee tastes like that anyway.
I've never actually bought Starbucks coffee. It's too expensive.
Yeah, it tastes like.
Hear me now,
Yeah.
Batman.
Now we can't hear Batman.
I haven't said
Nice.
anything yet.
You can
Hey,
hear
what?
me.
Yeah, I can hear you, Trucker. I could probably hear police. Thunder in the
Can you hear
jaw.
me? No.
And yeah, I can hear Scotty now.
Well, can you hear me? Is there
Well, I heard him
anyone out
saying,
there?
yeah.
Hey, maybe your volume's a bit low. Maybe that's why. Turn your volume up a little bit. You might be able to hear me.
Say that again.
Maybe your volume's a bit low on your computer or something.
If he's speaking, I can't hear him.
He says turn the volume of your computer up.
It's not the volume of my computer. Quite clearly.
Yeah, the suspect has been identified as 31-year-old from Lancaster. Was charged with disorderly conduct and criminal mischief. Mannheim Township confirmed on Thursday. Police have not approached the suspect, but say
It's just I keep gaining and losing it, so I'll just drop out of it.
I know what it is. I don't know why I'm saying no worries. You can't hear me anyway, but
I heard you there. It's weird. It's like off and on.
yeah. See, it's not. Why is it like that for you, but not anyone else? That's weird.
I'll just cut out.
It seems to be working fine now.
Maybe this needs to completely reboot his computer.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
The suspect identifies 31-year-old from Lancaster. Was charged with disorderly conduct, criminal mischief. Mannheim Township confirmed on Thursday. Police have not apprehended the suspect, but say he will be summoned via the mail. The department's public information officer confirmed to Fox News. The suspect was charged with the above offences after he was observed urinating on a sink and several boxes of product by an accountant of the business. Police added that his actions cost Starbucks a loss of £200 in merchandise and cleanup expenses. Not $200, sorry.
They lost $200 for the merchandise. So 3 cups of coffee and a, I don't know, donut.
But to a company like Starbucks, $200 is nothing. And the big,
Yeah, like I said, 3 cups of coffee and a donut.
yeah, pretty much. The suspect originally fled the scene after urinating in Starbucks, but not before his image was captured on surveillance. Authorities then shared the image, asking for the public's help in identifying the suspect. Mannheim Township also noted that the public showed the wet spot observable on the mail stores. So it also looked like he pissed himself then. Police confirmed that the man was positively identified with the help of tips from the public. And the next is just padding out the article because they're paid by the word. Three people watching this, you know. 3 people. 3
Woo!
fucking people.
We're stepping up.
Yeah, well. Maybe there's a good reason not that this stream's on Friday.
Mm.
Let's give it all. Rolling Stones rock. NASA named Stone on Mars after band. DC's still here. At least one person's still watching. Thank you, DC.
Woohoo!
As if the Rolling Stones and NASA wasn't enough, Star Power already the announcement was made by Iron Man actor Robert Downey Jr.
Of course.
Well, it might not be 2000.
Get Robert Downey Jr. involved.
Yeah. It might not be 2,000 light years away from home, but the Rolling Stones could have been forgiven for boasting about having a rock named after them on Mars. NASA bestowed the title on the little stone after it. And let's try it again. Back in there. Is it working now?
I can hear you at the moment.
Hopefully that continues.
How hard did you hit your computer
Yep,
with
still
the
hear you.
Good. NASA bestowed the title on the little stone after its InSight robotic lander captured the objects rolling across the surface of the red planet, and it seemed to provide Sir Mick Jagger with plenty of satisfaction.
Oh, God, they didn't.
They
Well,
did.
they clearly did. I bet he also leapt up like a jumping jack.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yep.
Now if they turn out like a brown sugar reference, I'm leaving.
Uh,
Yeah.
I heard the news.
Yeah, it's a good job they didn't get that rock and bring it back to Earth, because you know what would happen. They just paint it black.
Oh God.
Yeah, was it originally, I'm going to assume it was originally red. Being that it comes from the red planet and all.
Hmm. Die.
Well, you know
Come from
the worst
red
part.
planet.
Well, the worst part is as soon as they open up the little specimen box, for all we know, that rock's going to turn into a gas.
Yeah. But if it's got diamonds on it, you know, Mick Jagger's going to grab that diamond and give it to his favorite girl, Angie.
Oh hell!
Yes, that's where we're
Well,
going.
you know, I just realized this humor is perfect for TC. Catering to the audience, I love it.
I'm just doing Rolling Stones on puns now. Yeah. It was made
Yeah.
public by actor Robert Downey Jr. just before the Stones appeared at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California, near the NASA jet. Paul Popsland lab that manages InSight. Yeah, the Iron Star, he's... I can hear the pain in Chucker's voice. And the Iron Star, his Marvel character, is noted. As a noted Black Sabbath fan said, "What does that have to do with this article? This is about the Rolling Stones, not Black Sabbath."
Well, you know what the Mars rover actually said to Mick Jagger, don't you?
I don't know.
Start me up.
So at night is the that little rover thing. Does it always sit there and say, "Give me shelter"?
Yeah, I bet when it looked at that stone tumbling, going across the Martian surface, it just thought it was like a tumbling dice. Hey, listen to me. Yeah, a couple of hours, I'll be going on like a midnight rambler.
Oh, for God's sake.
Hey, have some sympathy for the rover.
I should start doing these tunes by myself because two's a crowd on my cloud. What does him being a Black Sabbath fan have to do with this, though? I mean, it makes sense if he said he was a noted Rolling Stones fan.
Well, you know what they say, Scotty, you can't always get what you want.
Oh, for God's sake.
Hey, come on. Be nice. We're talking about NASA's Beast of Burden here.
Yeah.
Well, the Beast of Burden are wild horse by any chance.
I think that the Rolling Stones gags they've got to stop for the last time.
Was the Beast of Burden a wild horse by any chance?
Yeah, and it did it under cover of night.
Yeah. Yeah, but at least it's always Mother's Little Helper. Punching out, Maverick.
Cross-pollinated by a legend rock band, and a legendary rock band is always a good thing. He told the crowd that NASA came up with the name for the rock in a fit of fandom and clever association. So Mick 76. Gonna be 76 now, is he? Jeez.
Yeah, and the rest. Yeah, he might be 76, but he's always saying that time is on my side.
It took a moment between this long to say NASA has given us something we have always dreamed of, our very own rock on Mars. I can't believe it. Stone's frontman later added, I want to say a special thanks to our favorite actor, our favorite action man, Robert Downey Jr. This was a very nice intro he gave. Downey Jr. also led the crowd into a mock vote over the naming of the rock to make it official. He said, Charlie, Ronnie, Keith, and Mick, there is no way. They were in no way opposed to the notion. But in typical egalitarian fashion, they suggested I insist on procuring 60,000 votes to make it official. So that's my mission. And the audience had been left with some movement when the NASA logo appeared with that of the Stones before the show. Joined in the shout aye before the actor declared the deed done. And the NASA said the rock in question was not much bigger than a golf ball. Well, that makes it a bit less. That makes it a bit more disappointing, doesn't it?
Just a bit.
I was expecting it to be like some fucking massive rock or something, but no, it's a tiny little golf ball size rock.
It would have been funny if it was, one of those weird natural phenomena. That happens because of erosion, and the rock had been almost perfectly spherical. That does happen. It's rare, but it happens.
I thought you got about Keith Richards' face for a second there.
It doesn't have one anymore. He's just got a collection of wrinkles.
It's just an overgrown ball sack at this point.
He looks like one of those Chinese dogs that can turn around in the skin.
Sharpay, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did the Bermuda audience need an emotional rescue? No, TC, because you're the only one in the audience right now.
Yeah, TC, that was funny. I mean, hoo.
Yeah, and TC, you are the audience. And you literally are the audience right now.
There's 9 people watching.
Well, 9 people. Where are the rest of them then? Why is TC the only one in the chat?
I don't know.
What was
I mean, I bet Blind Girl's there, but she'll not be saying anything because she's so cold.
Hey, Batman, get off his cloud.
All kidding me now. Yeah, TC, you've cloned yourself. My copy player's here.
Oh, GTC.
Hey, Crappy.
Hello, Crappy.
I've just arrived, everyone here. I just arrived. Happy Friday, everyone. Happy Friday, Honey Monster.
Whoa!
As I said, the rock was no bigger than a golf ball and had been moved when Robotic Lander Insight touched down on Mars on the 26th of November last year. It only shifted a few feet, but NASA said it was the furthest it had seen a rock roll while landing the craft. Geologist Matt Goldenbeck and Charles Morrison's also here, but we all know who Charles Morrison is.
Yeah, and I'm still eating.
I too am also eating. I'm having fish
He
sticks
doesn't
and
say
fries.
what he's eating or even who he's eating, but he's eating.
He's a Londoner. He's probably eating someone he's starved or something, or some starved victim.
No, I'm scholar like I do. I bet he's sitting there eating a sausage in front of Theon Greyjoy.
I think Armsclair was actually on yesterday. Oh,
Hmm?
you're there, weren't you?
Yeah, he was on. He talked and everything.
Yeah, geologist Matt Gullenbeck has helped NASA land all its Mars missions since 1997 and said, I've seen a lot of Mars rocks over my career. This one probably won't be in the scientific papers, but it's definitely one of the coolest. I'm the only real person here, figments of my imagination. And easy thinks it's his imagination, but really he's a schizophrenic. That's what he is.
No, he's a cartoon character.
Oh, Top Cat.
Yeah.
Well, everybody else is standing outside the chat going, can't you hear me knocking?
Oh.
Yeah.
That man started it.
Actually, no, I didn't. But,
No, the article started it, but now we're going to be going to Ruby Tuesday.
probably.
I'm shutting up.
And by then it'll all be doom and gloom.
I've got to admit, I do like coming on live streams. It's like your friends and just saying, let's spend the night together.
I'm schizophrenic, or am I? Scottish University to pay £20 million in slavery reparations. Why?
You're just waiting on a friend, TC.
Idiots!
Yeah, why? Not only that as well, right? Universities in Scotland are funded by the taxpayer.
Yes.
I mean, they're wasting taxpayers' money on this shit, essentially.
Yep.
It's no fucking wonder we've got a deficit bigger than fucking Greece if they're spending £20 million on bullshit like this.
They don't have the right to do that.
They shouldn't have the right to do that.
You don't. I don't think they do.
It's up to the Scottish government to tell them otherwise. I don't know.
Oh, fucking hell. Yeah, the Scottish government would probably tell them to cough out a bit extra.
Scotland's University of Glasgow said on Friday it would spend £20 million or $24.4 million to make amends for its historic financial support it received from people who profited from the slave trade. Well, who's that going to? Descendants of slavers who don't know anything about it and were not affected by it at all. Had nothing to do with them.
You know, it's horrible, isn't it? I mean, the United Kingdom as a whole, England in particular, our leader basically looks like Rupert the Bear when he's got his hands on a shaver. And Scotland is run by the evil clone of Jimmy Cranky.
Yeah, all 20 blacks in Scotland are now millionaires. This is why Scotland should be England. No. Because if anything, guaranteed a university in England will do this soon as well. Scotland's always the first to do this kind of stupid fucking shit. And
this is the reason why Scotland should have gained its independence. We wouldn't have. Yeah, the rest of us wouldn't have to put up with it. Yeah, we would have come and rescued you, Scotty. Don't worry.
And the university said it was co-founding a Glasgow Caribbean Centre for Development Research with the University of the West Indies to host events, sponsor research work, and raise public awareness about the history of slavery. I think slavery is already taught in schools, though.
Yeah, the history of slavery started when one guy realised that if he forced another guy to do his work for him, he'd have an easier life.
They say history.
Slavery's been around since there's been humans.
What about the slavery that's going on right now?
Of course, they don't care about that.
They don't care about that because it's not the West doing it.
Yeah, they only care about white people enslaving black people. Let's forget about the white slaves that were taken into America as well.
And the fact the first slave owner in the Americas was a black man, Anthony Johnston. Or Anthony Johnson, it was one of them anyway. Name similar to that, at least.
Honeyman says probably 14. That black guy who used to be in Porridge, I think he's dead now.
The money will be spent over the next 20 years, with funding mainly coming from research grants and donations. So it's not all public money, but I assume research grants, a lot of that will be government money.
Yeah, research grants is all government money, so it's all going to be public money.
Is it no? It's no fucking wonder we have a deficit bigger than Greece for wasting on this fucking shit.
Well, you're on about the United Kingdom as a whole, or Scotland in particular?
Scotland in particular has a bigger deficit than Greece.
It's because they know that they're always going to get bailed out by Whitehall. No offence, but I mean, if the situation was reversed, the same thing would be happening.
At the same time, we're also the highest tax part of the UK as well.
You get more back tax than you actually pay out.
In general, Scotland. In general, people who live in Scotland pay more taxes than those in England, Wales, or Northern Ireland. So,
yeah, but like it says, you do get more back.
Yeah, more fucking bullshit back, wouldn't we?
No, you get more money back. Right, if you excuse me, I'm going to feed the hairy bastard while you're reading this shite.
Okay.
I shan't be long.
Yeah, the money will be spent over 20 years, with mainly coming from research grants and donations. So that's £1 million a year. Talking about any institutions or countries' historical links to slavery, it can be a difficult conversation, but we felt it was a necessary one for our university to have. Said Professor Sir Anton Foreign, Principal and Vice Chancellor of the University of Glasgow. Well, you can't change your past. Well, you can't change your past. You can change its consequences. Well, no, you can't, because it happened in the past, and all the people that it was affected by are now dead. All the people that profited from that and all the people that were affected are all dead now. Long dead. A plaque at the Gilmore Hill base of the university will mark the building. Will mark that the building on the site of Gilmore House which was owned by a notorious 18th century slave owner. Last year, it said the University of Glasgow had received up to the equivalent of £198 million, $242 million in today's money, from people who derive wealth from slavery. Glasgow said it deeply regretted this part of its past, which class of its parallel history of support for the abolition of slavery, and started a program of retributive justice. It's like Britain was the fucking first country in the fucking whole world to end slavery. Yeah, we're supposed to act like the whole country was built upon it.
I think you should give money to people who either had a grandpa that was a slave, and take the money from people whose grandfathers owned slaves.
I don't even think you should do that, because you're punishing people who did nothing effectively.
The problem with that is no one's grandfather owned or was the slave.
I don't think you should do that, because I think doing that, you're punishing people who didn't do anything.
You won't be punishing anyone, because no one's grandpa even owned slaves.
Just because your grandfather, a great grandfather, a great great grandfather, whatever, that shouldn't affect your past, and that shouldn't affect you. Yeah, well, slavery still affects us. We have dickless arseholes that pay people that don't care about themselves. The events 200 years ago. Yeah. This shouldn't be a thing. Reparations should only be in place for those who were directly affected by it. And nobody alive right now is directly affected by it, because they all died fucking centuries ago.
Unless you want to count the 60s in the U.S., no one alive today was affected by slavery. And the 60s was just...
Well, in the West, at least. Or in the West, for the most part, yeah. In Africa, it still goes on.
Still goes on in the Middle East as well.
In the Middle East.
And in China, from what I hear. In fact, it goes on in most of the world, which isn't the West.
Yep. 18th and 19th century Glasgow professors John Miller, Patrick Wilson, and John Young were active participants in Glasgow's abolitionist movement. Miller sent 2 anti-slave trade petitions to Parliament in 1788 and 1792. In the biggest deportation in known history, weapons and gunpowder from Europe was swapped for millions of African slaves. They were shipped across Europe, shipped across the Atlantic to the American ships, and returned to Europe with sugar, cotton, and tobacco. Around 17 million African men and women and children were torn from their homes and shackled into one of the world's most brutal globalized trades between 17th and 19th centuries.
Yes, it was one of the most
Who did the shackling?
brutal globalized trades. It was called the Barbary Coast slave trade.
Which affected both whites and blacks.
Yep, and the reason why there's hardly any black people in Middle Eastern countries is because they were all castrated before they went on their journey. And most of them did not survive the journey.
I suppose.
I still say they'll probably fail to mention who was doing the slaving in Africa, especially.
Many died in merciless conditions. Those who survived would endure a life of subjugation on sugar, tobacco, and cotton plantations. Britain abolished the transatlantic slave trade in 1807. So basically, Britain was the first country in the whole world to end slavery. And yet we're still supposed to feel bad about it.
Yep, first ever.
Yeah. And not to forget that many of the slaves were prisoners of war.
There were African tribes who actually bred people as slaves to sell them on.
Yeah, they did, yeah. But that's where the West got the idea of slaves from, because African tribes would have like slaves under them. So that's where slavery comes from. Slavery comes from Africa, quite literally. That's where it was born from.
Blind girls backstage.
Why don't you just say that in the chat then?
I don't know.
Because I'm not in your chat right now, and I just have something curious to ask about the article. In what year did Britain actually abolish slavery? What year?
1807.
When was America founded?
1776.
Do you see the flaw in that? Britain was the first one to abolish slavery. America wasn't even founded yet, so they didn't even have a chance.
Well, no, because
America wasn't.
America was founded in 1776. Britain abolished slavery in 1807, so America was 30 years old. 31
America didn't abolish slavery until the mid 1800s, 1860s.
Because I would dispute that because Britain was older. Of course, they were the first ones to abolish slavery.
In fact, I think it's only truly been abolished in the West.
Well,
because like the evolution and growth.
Because America could have
come to that conclusion. Well, America still only had 30 years of existence before it did it, so or a 30-year difference. So I would say because
Britain only had like 100 years. Britain itself literally had only 100 years. If you count Britain as being like because Britain technically wasn't formed until 1707.
Yeah, I mean the United Kingdom.
I would expect that Britain would do it sooner because I believe they are still older than America.
Like Britain is a landmass.
Well, Britain's only older than America by 70 years, but
you mean the United Kingdom?
Well, no, because
you know what I'm getting at.
No, seriously, you mean the United Kingdom because Britain is a landmass.
For a culture and a civilization to progress and to come to terms with certain things in morality, I would say, yeah, Britain definitely would do it first because they are still older and more and
It's
established
quiet.
before America.
Yeah, Britain's abolished slavery centuries prior. It was just trade was legal within the empire. The University of Cambridge will conduct a 2-year study of how much it benefited from the transatlantic slave trade, from the Atlantic trade slave, and whether scholars reinforced race-based thinking during Britain's colonial era. So well, arms killer. Universities in England are going to do it as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just Scotland. Oxford University has launched several projects aimed at tackling its relationship with and links to colonialism. Why? What is the point in this? This literally does nothing.
It makes them feel good about themselves.
Virtue signaling while forgetting what
Pretty
virtue
much.
actually is.
That's all they do it for. Well, all the idiots do it for.
Signal because they've forgotten what virtue is, and therefore they must virtue signal nothing.
Virtue signal equals look at me points.
They're wasting £20 million here, but a lot of that is going to be taxpayers' money. If it was me, I'd just strip funding from them.
They're saying, "Look at me! Look how good I am! Touch my
Ooh, yeah.
wiener."
Like if I was like fucking Nicola Sturgeon or someone right now, what I would do is I would strip funding from them.
You know what I would do if I was Nicola Sturgeon right now?
What?
I'd slip me wrists. I don't want to be Nicola Sturgeon.
Well, I mean, university studies, even if they are spending money on it, they need to be free to do the studies that they, like even studies you don't agree with, they should be free
Hello
to do
there,
them.
blind girl.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. The universities in Scotland, at least, are publicly funded, though.
So,
And you can publicly fund Scotty by going to streamlabs.com/opinionated Scotsman.
like
Yeah.
stripping a university of funding because they're doing a study you don't agree with or you don't think is appropriate. Wait until that pendulum comes back around and swings for something
Yeah,
that
but
you
that's
feel
a
like
really
somebody else
Nicola
says they shouldn't be
Sturgeon.
funded.
Again, should be free to pay for that if I wanted to. When the UK abolished slavery, we didn't include ourselves, so you could still own slaves in the UK from 2000 X until 2000 and something X. But in 2016, decided to remove its statue of imperialist Cecil Rhodes. He made a large sum to Oriel College and died a university scholarship and considered one of the founders of South African racial segregation. They're not doing much good themselves, are they?
If they're going to go on about the bad things that white people did in the past, they should also go on about the bad things that every other fucking culture and race has
They
done.
won't because white man bad.
And even worse if they happen to be orange.
The orange ones are the worst.
Those fucking orange people, they're terrible, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Damn Oompa Loompas.
Dang it! I was about to say
Oh,
that.
it's-
Oompa-dee-doo. We've got enough.
What joke?
I think
there
the
you go.
worst orange.
There you go. Orange men bad.
Yeah, Blanca, what joke did I
I
not
got
get?
it. Orange men bad.
Green
Oompa
Thunder
Loompa,
made a
doobity-doo.
joke
We've got a
about
boatload of slaves for
only
you.
people that had grandfathers should
I
have
think
to
the worst,
slavery.
the
The point
orange people
was
is
there are nobody
one in the chat,
grandfathers
the one
that
who
owned
likes honey
slaves.
a
That
lot.
was the point. Make it a law that says you got to pay.
And I can't hear
reparations.
blind girl. What the hell's going on with this?
Yeah, so Green said, you should put a rule in that says, no reparations unless your grandfather owned a slave. The point is nobody's grandfather owned a slave, so that rule would never work. That was the whole point, and you just didn't understand why that was funny. It would never work. That was the whole point, and you just didn't understand
Oh, we got an echo now.
why. That's because Batman's trying to fix his audio.
No. Batman, the Bat computer is shitting its pants at the moment. Please stand by.
You need to upgrade the
You're not
Batcave.
wrong.
Come on, load. Here we go, right. Knife crime. Children as young as 4 among hundreds caught with blades at school. That's pretty worrying, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's so bad over there without guns that even children, even 4-year-olds, have to carry knives.
Fucking hell, when I was fucking 4, I did. Like 4-year-olds now.
This is what happens when you ban guns. The 4-year-olds start taking knives to school.
Yeah, that's nursery, not school. Well, no, it could be a 4-year-old in like primary 1 or something. That
Same thing.
because they start school at like 5 normally, but there are kids that are still like 4 years old in school because they haven't turned 5 yet. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking it could be. People replaced a highlighter nib with a blade. Told fellow student, "Listen to me, or I'll stab you."
He's just following what mommy and daddy do in the bedroom.
More than 100,000 children were caught carrying knives in school last year. Well, with the youngest just age 4. What fantastic parents that 4-year-old kid must have.
Question: how many of these kids were caught with plastic knives to spread jam, jelly, porridge, blade, whatever the hell you all call it on bread?
I don't know.
I mean, how many kids were caught with plastic knives and got in trouble for that? How many kids drew a knife and says, "This is what Daddy carries on his hip," and got in trouble for that? That's the problem when they pull statistics out of their ass after the fact. I mean, because it's like over in America when they sit there and talk about guns in school. There's times where a kid one time sat and ate, bit into a Pop-Tart to a shape that resembled a gun. And he got expelled for it under the zero tolerance policy. But the thing is, that's actually counted as a gun crime in the school. So these statistics I'm wary of, very wary of.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
Throughout the entire time I was in high school, I've only heard of one time that a gun was brought to school, and it stayed in someone's locker. And apparently was unloaded too.
Yeah, so one of my schools took a knife to school. I guess they just want to slice the action. Haggis sandwiches. Yeah, haggis sandwiches are actually nice. Don't knock haggis sandwiches. Yeah, weapons were seized by police, including machetes, hunting knives, a samurai sword, even a highlighter pen which had a nib changed to a blade.
Someone brought a freaking samurai sword to school. What,
Yeah, probably.
Someone dishonored them, so they're fixing to take it, do an honorable killing, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, what? How the fucking? Why would you bring a samurai sword and a fucking machete to school? So what school are you going to where you need that?
Maybe what?
Show and tell.
Maybe it wasn't a full. Maybe it wasn't a full katana. Maybe it was just a wakizashi, and he was preparing ritual sambuki.
Nah, Blango, it's more like a show and don't tell.
Well, no, some kids. I remember a couple of kids. One of them be like, "Hey, I have this knife, because you're not supposed to have one." It's like, yeah, I'm cool. I have a fucking knife. I fuck you up, kid. But they wouldn't actually do it. They're just trying to peacock. You know what I mean? And then there were other kids that are like, my dad is a samurai sword, and then brings it next day so they can be the cool kid with the samurai sword. Like, usually it's innocent intentions with a dangerous weapon.
Yeah, but you shouldn't. Parents should be more responsible, though, shouldn't they?
Oh, no. It's not only on the parents, because kids can find a fucking way. Let me tell you, because my grandpa's hunting knife was locked up in a box, and I figured out how to pick that motherfucking lock, stuff it in my pants, and bring it to school.
Yeah, did you actually do it?
Yes, I did, because I wanted to be the cool kid in grade 1. Nobody caught me. But still, it's not just the parents. Kids can find a way to be little shit.
Is that a knife in your pants, or you just have?
What do you mean?
Throughout most of my scholastic career, I always had a pocket knife on me because apples don't cut themselves.
Yep.
I was
And for some
And-
reason, I never did like eating apples straight off the core. I didn't like biting into them like that.
I
Figures of
always-
pain.
I wonder if it's just either the time I grew up or the fact that it was like it's like a small town that I grew up in, but nobody ever brought a weapon to school.
No, I grew up in a
I've-
small town. Like I said earlier, I grew up
Didn't
in a
need
small
one.
town.
Yeah, you had to probably beat somebody up.
I grew up in a small town where someone still took a fucking knife to my school.
I will maintain knives aren't necessarily a weapon. For the most part,
Yeah.
they're a
And
tool.
that's all we have to say on the
And,
subject.
and it wasn't actually. No, because it wasn't actually to show off either. That he was like fucking 15. I took it to fucking secondary school. Or high school if you're American or Canadian or whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
don't
just be
think-
careful before blaming parents for everything. You know, oh, well, it's the parents' fault for not, because sometimes kids can just be fucking manipulative little shits that can sneak stuff before you even know it. For not, 'cause sometimes
I have seen
someone
parents
can you
do
show me
their
the background,
best.
please?
Spoken from pure guilt.
Can you meet the stream in the background, please?
Hmm.
I don't have the stream in the background.
I'm just whoever knows what I'm talking to.
I've got it muted. And
Only carried, I only carried a knife.
again, I'm having
Look at
problems
my-
hearing certain people talk.
Adversaries to sheds. It is on the parent not to not only safely store the weapon, but to teach kids that the item can be dangerous.
I think I'm going to give up on this tonight. It's just
Yeah,
acting up too much.
fair enough.
Yeah, good luck telling a 6-year-old this is dangerous and having them actually understand. This is a very
Yeah, the second-
Jimmy. This is a very dangerous thing that you can cut yourself and hurt somebody with. Never touch this, and that kid's gonna go, "Oh my god, I want to touch it even more," because they don't understand the weight of things. You can tell them something is dangerous and hot, and you're gonna get an owie all you want, and it makes them want to do it even more.
Yeah, but if they
So,
do it, then they'll be-
It's a lot on the parents, but don't say it's 100% on the parents, because some kids do it anyways.
I have seen.
This also contradicts the argument you made before. That when I got to go with the guy who took his parents' car in the river, like if kids are gonna act up, kids are gonna act up on it. Some kids are just fucking dicks. You know,
Yes, but self-entitlement and lack of gratitude has to do with teaching kids values. He's also not 6. I am talking about the context of a 6-year-old and having them maturely understand and respect a weapon versus values of ingratitude and irresponsibility and humility that haven't been taught to this kid, where they feel entitled to fucking everything. And it's a 17-year-old that can understand those things if you teach it to them. You've had 17 years to do it. A 6-year-old with a knife saying, "Hey, this can really hurt somebody," they don't fucking understand. They just go, "Cool." No,
the
so it doesn't.
secondary school I went to was shit and looked like a prison. Same here. The knife is one of the most versatile tools. I was bitten by a radioactive in both of them. Figures obtained by 5 News on the Freedom of Information laws show a total of 1,144 knife possessions in schools. Knife possession offences in schools where the suspect was a child were recorded in England, Scotland, and Wales last year. Number of offences more than doubled over the past 5 years. Among the 36 forces in England and Wales that provided comparable data, soaring from 372 to 968 last year. So yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, that would have been more heavy-handed and getting like the fucking slightest knife, like a little butter knife or something.
Zero tolerance means zero tolerance to everything, including cutting an apple.
I'm going to shank you with this plastic butter knife if you don't shut the fuck
Yeah,
up.
but I'm going to assume if you go to the school canteen, I'm going to assume if you go to the school canteen, they're going to give you like a butter knife or whatever to eat your food with, aren't they? To cut your food.
Have you tried
No.
cutting
Not
with
anymore.
a plastic butter knife? It's impossible.
Some Wales police force was called into one school in Wales by teachers concerned the 4-year-old had a knife. Fucking 4-year-old with a knife. In Manchester, 11-year-old.
Somebody needs a muffler.
It sounds like someone just ripped ass going down the road.
They did.
Sounds like a pissed off bumblebee in a tin can.
We got a lot of
Wait, Wales is the police force. Yes, they do. I bet it was just blind girl making that noise, but she's blaming the cars outside.
Guilty, I guess, for the sake of humor.
Kid, I'm gonna stab you with a book. Teacher, he's got a knife. In Manchester, an 11-year-old who had replaced a highlighter nade with a blade told other people, "Listen to me, or I'll stab you."
That kid is a temper.
Yep. Former teacher David Simmons, who set up the Life Changing Lives charity, said he was confronted by a 6-year-old brandishing a blade while walking into a North London school. London's a great place, isn't it?
You know, if my son could talk, I would not be surprised if he would try one of that "listen to me or I'll throw you off the balcony" kind of talks. You know how sometimes when I'm frustrated with my son and I'm like, dude, I could just teach him to fly right now. If he could actually talk, I bet you he would repeat me to somebody else when he was frustrated, and it'd be my fault.
Yeah, probably.
But the fact that people are taking a 6-year-old's threat as like malicious intent when really it's
it's that he was brandishing a knife.
Yeah, but again, he's
I
probably
can see why you'd be taking that as a threat.
but he's mimicking behavior. He doesn't understand the malicious intent that he's displaying. He's just angry and using a mimicked behavior to get what he wants because he's 6. But we're talking about it like this, you know, a 6-year-old, but has the mentality of a grown-up that understands that they're threatening somebody with a knife with malicious intent when it's probably copied behavior.
Yeah, where's that behavior copied from, though? That's the danger here.
Well,
Listen,
it could be TV.
What
It
two
could,
adults do in the
parents?
bedroom is their business.
it could be really bad friends that they're copying off of. It could be a lot of things. It could be a neighbor. But the problem I have with these articles is that they're displaying it in a nature with adult-like characteristics, and they're trying to attach those to a 6-year-old. A 6-year-old threatened a guy brandishing a weapon, and it's like you're putting adult consequences, adult thought, adult things, and you're assuming motive in a fucking 6-year-old.
But a 6-year-old carrying a knife isn't a fucking good thing.
It's not a good thing, but my point still stands. You're attributing adult things to a 6-year-old. Probably doesn't even fully understand the consequences of killing somebody with a knife.
But that's why the age of criminal responsibility in Scotland is 8, and I think it's in England, I think it's 10, I can't remember.
Well, 10 is still widely different from 6.
If a 6-year-old threatened me, I'd kick the shit out of them. I wonder if the Welsh police force at all called Sean. Really? Really? And by the way, if you haven't seen like Waltzing Gromit, there's Sean the Sheep. Yeah.
I have a Shaun the Sheep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Is he? Was he named after Waltzing Gromit, is he?
Well, it's a Shaun the Sheep. They were selling it on Wish.
God damn it, Trucker. Oh, where'd Trucker go?
Wonder if he's in backstage. It says his devices aren't connected. There we go. There he is. He's back.
Welcome back, Almighty Truck.
Whoops.
Oh, come on, Sean. Don't be sheepish.
Ding.
He was threatening other staff members and saying he was going to stab them. So I've gone out to try and calm this child down. He says and then said he's going to stab me and kill me. At that age, you wouldn't. At that age, you just wouldn't have thought a 6-year-old should be doing that. Why are they doing that?
I highly doubt
Learned
a
behavior.
6-year-old is strong enough to kill you.
Well, a 6-year-old with a knife could kill you. Yeah.
I'd like to see.
Why
him
is a
fighting. I
6-year-old
doubt they
doing
can.
this? Learned behavior.
Shitty parents. Yeah. Yeah, maybe they've got like an older brother or something who's in a gang or something, and maybe they see what their older brother's doing, and maybe they think that's cool or something. I don't know. That's possible.
Yes, it is.
Archbishop Ilsley Catholic School in Birmingham carries out random checks on students while they're searching for walking through a knife arch. Yeah, Britain's in a fantastic place right now, isn't it? Like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, the school said it does not have a knife problem. And head teacher Helen Burrows explained the checks were brought in to teach children about the wider world. Okay, so about security checks and stuff when you go through airports and things then.
You know, it could also be that that's a budding psychopath.
What is?
And somebody just blew their nose.
It's that fucking guy with his shit motorcycle. But yeah, you know what? The other thing is
motorcycle?
that
That is the shittiest damn motorcycle I've ever heard. I would say that was a moped, but a motorcycle?
yeah, and between the ages of 0 and 6 is where your brain develops the fastest before it starts slowing down to the age of 25, and usually about then is when your prefrontal cortex decides it's not going to exist, or it's going to be very, very small. So he could very well be a very young psychopath to be,
Maybe.
which then, you know, like I worry about people that automatically want to rush to blame either the parents or the kid or the school or the brother, because there are some circumstances where it's just dumb luck, or it's bad luck, or it's bad brain growth.
Well,
It's not always. It's exactly.
That's the trouble. So it's an individual case by case thing, isn't it?
And the problem is that if it is just a pre-budding psychopath, the exception is going to become the rule for the rest of the school that says this school now has a knife problem when really they have a psycho problem.
Yeah, you're supposed to inhale, not blow cocaine, I thought. It's like I don't swear. It's like I don't swear I'm with my child. Children thinks attention, so therefore I should swear. In this case, it's the parents, a blind girl.
Is it?
Well, that's what Honey Monster's saying.
How does he know?
It's not necessarily. I think it's a lot of factors, really.
Like, Honey Monster, how do you know? How do you know in this case it's the parents?
Yeah, it could happen at any time, she said. I don't think a child bringing a knife into a localized issue. It's a national issue. Yeah, he says, well, it's 50-50.
It is a local issue. God damn. I think this is a national issue. One child. It's a national issue. Seriously?
Well, it says over 1,000 kids bringing knives into school.
How many kids are in the school system?
In England, Scotland, and Wales, several million.
Okay, so in order for it to be a national issue, it has to be, it has to be quite a large number. And if they're talking about the entire school system and 1,000 kids brought knives to school, and you don't even know which ones were knife threats versus butter knives, I would still say it's a fucking local issue.
That is a very low percentage. If there's millions of
I
kids,
assume they're talking about knife. I assume they're also talking about knife crime in general as well, included with it.
Yeah, but they're not talking about knife crime in general. They're talking about schools, children, and a national level. And
this person could be talking about knife crime as well. So imagine like a lot of knife crime happens because kids bring knives to school and stuff. So
I feel like it's a non-issue that they're making an issue. That they're saying this is an epidemic when it's just a rising.
It's quite simple for me. As a head teacher, a child bringing a knife in a school is not acceptable, but we would never wash our hands of a child completely. So we would always look at what we could do to support that child in moving on in the future. Either it is or it isn't their fault. Some people used to carry knives 40 years ago. In fact, people have been carrying knives since knives were invented. Yeah.
Knife is actual good tool for your EDC.
Yeah, Stephen George from the National Association of Head Teachers said referring to a child to the police isn't always the best option.
Nope.
I mean, what you're trying to do is to find a solution for the child. Their family circumstances, their neighborhood they live in, the people they hang around with are going to be factors. Yeah, agreed.
So is therapy, access to therapy and brain scans. Just saying.
On TV and social media and stuff.
Yes. It also, I think, has to do with the rise in single-parent households or children out of wedlock. The reason I say that is because a rise in children out of wedlock or single-parent households means if you're working 1 or 2 jobs to support the household, you're not at home talking with your child because you're working to make sure they're eating. And unfortunately, that's an impossible situation of a rock and a hard place.
So in England, there's 4.5 million primary schools and 3.75 million secondary schools.
Yeah, so if they're really talking about children, then 1,000 kids bringing knives to school out of millions, I wouldn't call that a national problem.
I don't even think that's even like 0.01%.
It's not.
And if we're talking about knife crime in general, the population then expands even further, so then it's even less of an epidemic.
And plus, I guess you also factor in the population of UK between the ages of 5 and 16, which would be, I don't know how many. But the amnesty bin is already overflowing with knives, because like the toddlers hanging theirs into. And those aren't solved with a phone call to the police. We know that schools are being asked to do more than ever with a wide range of issues that extend beyond the school gates. If the figures continue to grow, there's a problem schools definitely cannot tackle. The government spokesperson said no young person should feel the need to bring a knife to school. Our pound 9 free campaign, you mean #knife free? Fucking idiots.
They're assuming motive for every single instance where they brought a knife to school. They're assuming motive, saying they felt they had to. They're grouping everybody together with one motive.
If you bring a knife to school, still not a good thing, though.
No, but that's not what they just said was children shouldn't feel the need to bring a knife to school. So what they're saying is every single instance where a kid got caught with a knife, whether it be cutting an apple or bringing a knife to school to be cool, they're assuming motive for 100% of them with that statement. They're saying the reason this is happening is because they feel the need to, and that is very disingenuous.
Well, how would you solve the problem then? Because if you...
How would I solve the problem? First, I would interpret the data the way it should. I would separate out frivolous knives versus intent with motive for knives to bring up a true stat. In that specific line, I will criticize their feeling the need to bring a knife to school to protect themselves, which is assuming motive disingenuously for everybody that's been caught with a knife. That's wrong.
The problem is they won't do that because they want to spin the narrative the way they want to spin it.
Exactly. They're trying to spin a narrative that children feel unsafe and are bringing knives to school because of it.
Campaign challenges the myth that carrying a knife makes you safer. We have strengthened teachers' powers so they can take action. We suspected people has brought prohibited items, including knives, in the schools. These powers include searching pupils of their possessions if they suspect they have a weapon.
I guess you guys don't have the constitution of unlawful search and seizure, do you?
No.
Sucks to be us, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, it is kind of, because, I mean, there is, like, if the police can't just go to my door and start raiding my house unless they have a warrant. So there is kind of one.
But if you go to school, they can just search you if they even suspect you might have one.
Yeah.
Which is very vague. It could be like, I don't like Jimmy. Jimmy, just search Jimmy the second time just in case.
Yeah.
Technically, in a lot of school systems, technically they can't, but they can't without permission. Although, whenever they send a dozen forms home with the parents to sign at the beginning of every year, read through them. I bet you one of those forms actually gives them permission to do it.
Oh, they send
Probably.
so many, freaking. It's probably a lot of covering their ass in case.
Trust me,
something happens.
trust me. The government is very good at finding a way to break their own rules.
Well, yeah.
Holy shit, that is a lot of green beans.
Our city's violence strategy focuses on steering young people away from knife crime. We're also investing over $220 million in our early intervention projects. The Scottish government spokesman said Scotland has adopted a public health approach to violent crime, tackling the
And there
underlying
it
causes
is.
of violence. What?
There's their motive for pushing their agenda right there. They just said a public group of people that are trying to stop knife crime. That's why they skewed the results to make them sound worse than they are, so that they have justification to create another public service. There it is.
So they want.
Yeah,
more
well, in
money.
Scotland, I'm not in Scotland. I wouldn't be
Holy-
surprised.
Trucker, you were right. That is a lot. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Approach to knife crime, tackling the underlying issues of violence and not just the symptoms. Our approach to knife crime, focusing on prevention, is recognised across the UK and internationally as making a real difference in keeping people safer. Well, I guess the knife crime rates in Scotland are lower than it is in England and Wales, so I guess in a way, yes, but what cost? The Welsh government spokesman said there's a duty on local authorities and schools to ensure that schools are safe, a safe environment for all. If at any point the environment within a school becomes unsafe, schools should ensure the relevant authorities are informed so that appropriate support can be made available. That's a bit vague, isn't it? What is deemed as being unsafe? What about Northern Ireland crime rates? I don't know, because people. One thing about the UK is the British media do not give a flying fuck about Northern Ireland. They literally do not care. Yeah. And it's not suggest, although there are fewer stabbings in Scotland as a percentage, the population is worse than England. Not the last time I've seen, but I don't know. And the stats can be skewed very easily, so I guess, I don't know. Is anyone still here?
Yep.
We're here.
Yo.
Good. Yeah, we move on. And I know this article's quite old, but I seen it earlier and thought I want to talk about this. Because this is fucking ridiculous. It loads. Patricia Hewitt has called for the age of consent to be lowered to 10.
Pedophile much?
Yeah. Former Labour cabinet apologises for links to paedophile group in the 70s and admits she got it wrong. Well, if you're saying you got it wrong, clearly you didn't think you got it wrong, because why would you be asking for the age of consent to be lowered to the age of 10? Patricia Hewitt was forced to apologise after it was revealed that she called for the age of consent to be lowered to 10. Yeah, fuck no. Yeah, no, exactly. Document published in the former Labour cabinet minister's name is also called for incest to be legalised.
Alright, someone wants to fuck their brother or sister.
The National Council.
To be fair, she does look like she's. To be fair, she looks like she is the product of incest. So.
Yep, she's an idiot Gasol Scotsman. No cryptic, no. Hero cryptic.
Hello.
Arrow cryptic.
Cryptic penis.
The National Council for Civil Liberties Press release quoted in the Sun issued in Miss Hewitt's sole name in March 1976. I see them in March 1976. They've had 5 years to correct this article and never bothered to, so Okay. And Black Penis. NCC and NCCL proposes the age of consent should be lowered to 14 with special provisions for situations where partners are close in age. With the consent of a child over 10 can be proved. No. No. Document which relates to an NCCL report on sexual law reforms, though, continues. The report argues that the crime of incest should be abolished. In our view, no benefit accrues to anyone by making an incest a crime when committed by mutually consenting persons over the age of consent. I'll zoom my load on Santa screen, so I will not be giving no it is cryptic. You've given enough already anyway. Now, if you no benefit accrues to anyone by making incest a crime when committed between two mutually consenting persons over the age of consent.
False.
Yeah, it fucking does, because if you have a kid, that kid's gonna be fucked for their life.
No, they're not. You only have a 5 to 10% chance of that happening. That's actually a false thing. The reason why I say false is because when you, for example, I'm going to use Muslim culture. When you have a father, and he demands you to marry your first cousin, he has a lot of weight over you because it's a horizontal relationship where he has power and authority to persuade you to do so. So unfortunately, there is a lot of influence there to force people into incest if you make it legal. That's the only reason why I say false. When they say nobody can get hurt from this, for example, if they're close in consenting age, two cousins, if both families demand it, there's a whole lot of pressure to follow through with it, even if you don't want to. And that's the danger in legalizing it. While there is a risk that the baby will be fucked for life, you only have a 5 to 10% chance of that happening.
I thought it was much lower than
that. It depends. I'm being generous with the 5 to 10% because that's in Jewish and Muslim stats with first cousins.
But what about like brother and sister or something? Like that'd surely be worse. A lot worse.
No.
Wouldn't I would have thought like brother and sister would have been a lot worse. Like
no.
Incest is a horizontal relationship. I'm not. It's not so you're not saying it. I created a Python program in which I could give a table of conversion from British pounds to Canadian dollars. I have no idea why I created it. Maybe you're bored. I could probably do that, but I don't want to because I fucking hate coding. I give people this advice right now: do not ever fucking learn to code. You will fucking hate you will hate it.
I would love the money.
Yeah, it's not worth it, it is.
Oh, yes, it is.
Coding fucking sucks.
Trust me.
Well, the only problem is what happens tomorrow when the rate of exchange changes.
Hmm.
Yeah, I feel like that has to be constantly updated.
It does.
But it changes several times a day.
Well, Pat learned to code 7 years ago, and he's upwards worth $60,000 a year. So you know what? I think I could put in the sacrifice.
It also depends on how your brain works. If your brain works while with coding, it's fine. Just like anything else. If your brain works with math, it's fine.
I'm losing lazy math. I can code. It's been a while since I did. I just fucking hate coding. It fucking sucks. Miss Hewitt, who was the general secretary of the group from 1974 to 1983, said, "I take responsibility for mistakes I made. I got it wrong on Pi, and I apologize for having done so." Miss Hewitt finally broke her silence and apologized for her role in the scandal after the Telegraph asked her to explain why the NCCL, of which she was a general secretary, had pledged its protection and support for a prominent paedophile group, the Paedophile Information Exchange. Miss Hewitt said she'd been out of the country for the past 12 days as the scandal over the links had been growing and apologized for her association with the group. He said the NCCL in the 70s, along with many others, was naive and wrong to accept Pye's claim to be campaigning and counseling as an organization that does not promote unlawful acts. Well, you literally said you wanted to fucking consent to be lowered to the age of 10. How do you know? How is that not an unlawful act? You're more for that clearly you support unlawful acts. I should have urged the council to take strong measures to protect NCCL's integrity from the activities of Pye members and sympathisers. I deeply regret not having done so. Miss Hewitt later became a press secretary to Labour leader Neil Kinnock when she was an MP for 13 years to 2010 and served as a public secretary, served as a health secretary in the last Labour government. Well, I'm glad she's been gone. I'm glad she's been gone for 9 fucking years. Admissions placed further pressure on Harriet Harman, the deputy leader who served as a legal officer at the NCCL from 1976, to offer a full apology for her own links to the paedophile organisation. Miss Hughes frank admission got that wrong. Contrast sharply with Harman's insistence that she's nothing to apologise for. Miss Harman insisted that Pye confronted by NCCL in 1976 and pushed him to the margins. However, pressure was building on her to offer a full apology over links to Rob Wilson, the Tory MP for Reading East, said it is right and welcome that Patricia Hewitt has apologised. It's hard to see why others involved wouldn't wish to do the same, because they don't want to associate themselves with that, even though they did. Because, you know, politicians are all about keeping up appearances. Fucking politicians. I hate, like, all of them, pretty much. The 650 politicians in Britain, I like 2 of them. What does that tell you? That's all you need to know. Yeah, we're going to move on then. Find it. Yep, but it do.
Do.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say this one for Skittles, but I don't know. I was going to say this one for Skittles, but I don't know where Skittles is. So
I think
somebody
you
saw
might
that.
be cool.
Yeah, that is
He's
somebody
working
saw
on
that.
training right now.
Yeah. Heroin addict's mother injects newborn with drugs and throws baby in a bin bag.
Wonderful.
You don't throw away your baby. You recycle it.
A mother with a heroin addiction allegedly injected her newborn baby with the drug until it died and then threw its body in a bin bag in La Madera, New Mexico. What a fantastic human being you are. Absolute
You wasted perfectly
Yes.
good drugs. Also, you're a horrible human being.
Yeah, we haven't said it in a while. Fucking give this cunt a Jewish shower. Gee to gas. A newborn baby with a heroin addiction died after this alleged its mother injected the drug to stop withdrawal symptoms before keeping his body in a bin bag. Say Britain says that's fucked. Yeah, that's fucked up. And also enjoy your range. Police were alerted to a camper trailer in La Medina, New Mexico in the US after a father called with concerns about his unborn child. The father reportedly turned back from a trip to find his partner no longer pregnant and also refused to explain where the child was, Albuquerque Journal reports. He alerted the police, who arrived to carry out a welfare check. Cops recognized the smell of death, began searching for the child, and ended up finding his body dumped in a bin bag. Police later arrested the woman. Hopefully the woman gets locked up for a very fucking... I hope the woman never sees the fucking light of day again. Because frankly, that's what she fucking deserves. Not being kind. She exhibited the signs of heroin use, and police were told she'd used the drug frequently throughout her pregnancy. Local reports claim. Because if you knew that, why did you? If you knew that, why didn't you do anything?
Someone should have reported her. Like, this bit over here, pregnant and shooting up heroin.
Hey, what? If the authorities knew about that, why didn't they fucking do anything?
Sounds like some people are shit at their job.
Yeah. Fucking government. Yeah, because I don't give a fuck if she injects heroin herself. That's your own fucking body. You made that choice. You live with it. But she's carrying a baby? No. Mother believed to have injected the drug into her newborn baby, officers were told. The woman claimed she gave birth and passed out due to the pain of giving birth. She said she then later woke up and found the baby unresponsive. Officers spotted a black trash bag near the toilet, and inside the trash bag there was a tote bag that had the deceased baby inside. Fucking Christ. Send this woman to the wood chipper, agreed. The father claimed that he'd been injected the baby with heroin to keep the child from going through withdrawal symptoms. What a fantastic human being she is. The police also found a baggie on the floor of the camper, but the affidavit did not say if the drugs were inside. There was also blood on the front porch area, and the child's name or gender are not still unknown. No charges have been filed yet, as detectives continue to piece together exactly what happened. Hopefully that woman never sees the fucking light of day again. Fucking scumbag. And that's the fucking least she deserves. Yeah, it's looking for another article there. Let's try to see if I can find a more upbeat article to end on, because that was a rather depressing one. That one somewhere. Right. Last article of the day. It loads. Firefighters rescue idiot father, 43, who feared he would die after getting stuck in a 15-inch storm drain for 7 hours while exploding.
Why is it going to be the 43-year-old father?
Truckers, there's something we don't know about.
Yeah, did you fancy going on for? Is that why you didn't stream the other day?
Yeah, I was stuck in a storm drain. Sorry.
Firefighters were forced to rescue an idiot father who feared death when he got stuck in the 15-inch storm drain for 7 hours while exploring it by candlelight.
Fucking candlelight, what?
You know, bring a fucking torch or something with you, know?
This
Fucking candlelight.
motherfucker's using candlelight. That's just. Oh, God.
All right, now here's where we say, to be fair, I probably couldn't fit my head in a 15-inch pipe.
The fuck was that?
My
Green's
mother.
mom. Hi, Green's mom.
She.
Hi, Green's mom. How's all those penises going?
Oh, yeah, I remember that. That one broke Chucker, though. I think he had like mute himself. It was that long. Well, he was definitely exploring. Yes, he was exploring. Daniel Tredenik, 43, said investigating the tunnel which leads from the beach into the town had been a dream since he was a teenager. He climbed inside the narrowing rusty pipe and inched his way 320 meters inland, and with nothing more than 8 battery-powered tea lights. But his 6'2" and 12 stone frame 6'2" and 12-stone frame, got stuck in a tiny tunnel in the village of Shankland on the Isle of Wight. And exhausted and fearing he wouldn't make out alive, he flipped on his back and spotted a chunk of light from the pavement. Spotted a chunk of light coming from the pavement above. He aims towards it as last ditch for survival and waited until someone walked by and shouted for help. It was eventually pulled aside by firefighters 7 hours after he climbed into the tunnel. It took me 5 hours to crawl up there, and it just kept getting smaller and smaller, said Daniel. I realized after 3 hours I could not go backwards, so I just kept going forward. I was wrong about where the drain might lead to. Well, I guess your dream turned into a nightmare then, didn't it?
Man, that would have sucked if it started to rain.
Oh, let's start to flood, that would be even funnier. Like,
Mm-hmm. So how does this man use his tobacco? Yep, you guessed it, a pipe.
You know, that is actually one of the reasons why a lot of people drowned in Nevada, because the homeless live in the overflow,
yeah, they do. Yeah.
and no one expects it to rain in the middle of the desert. And when it does, oh boy,
The
does
thing
it
with the
rain.
dam, though, it's supposed to stop the city from flooding.
Well, yeah, but they're living in it.
I know. I was exhausted after 5 hours. I didn't think I could keep going. I said goodbye to the world and thought I'd never get out. I thought, this is it. I said prayers and on what I thought was my deathbed.
Who has a bed in the storm drain?
Obviously, the people in Nevada do. Homeless. I was physically exhausted and didn't have the energy to pull myself out. The firefighters lifted me out. I was so happy to be out. I felt like an idiot. I felt stupid and like an idiot. The firefighters were laughing about it and said it's a nice chance to get out on interesting jobs. I didn't think I'd ever see daylight again, dude. So it was a massive relief. The fuck is that noise?
Oh, sorry.
has
I'll turn off
chips.
my mic. That would be me eating raw ramen noodles because I don't feel like cooking them.
I don't buy ramen noodles anymore. I only
Why?
buy cup of noodles.
Because I don't feel like cooking them and I'm hungry.
Yeah, but they probably taste horrible.
No, they don't.
No.
I used to eat raw ramen all the time. It's great.
Yeah, how hard is it to put a fucking thing in the microwave and cook them?
I don't cook them in the microwave.
No,
It's not
no,
good.
you use a kettle on the stove. You monster.
Well, that's not hard to do, is it?
It's not about being hard. I remember when I tell you that sometimes I just can't stand for long periods of time and I get really tired. Today is one of those days. Don't judge me. Ableish.
Back to Mario.
Da, 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 da,
Why
da.
do you blind your
We
legs?
almost
What?
died in the pipe.
David said as he remembered exploring the underground pumping station close to Seafront as a teenager back in the 80s. I wanted to see if I could find it again. While fishing on the coast earlier this year, Daniel said he noticed the grate that covers the drain on the seawall had become rust and the entrance proposed. Wearing a wetsuit and carrying 8 electronic tea lights, he climbed in on July the 8th and it's along the pipe for 5 agonizing hours. Why did he stay there for so fucking long?
Because he's a moron.
After like 5 minutes, I would have thought, fuck this. And then just play. David said, I felt like a devil inside me. Tells me to spur and to tell me to do things in the spur of the moment. The entrance was all corroded and maybe stupidly I got stupid and started to wonder where it leads to. I thought the pipe might take me to the next station. See what was ahead. You said like 3 fucking times he's used fucking tea lights. We already know he used tea lights because you told us 3 fucking damn times. We don't need to know anymore. If my shoulders wouldn't go any further, I was just so tired, he said. He spent a further hour lying in the dark, fearing he'd die. But this article's just repeating itself. Yeah, the man's an idiot.
Stupid people do stupid things.
Anyway, we got it for the show.
Blind trucking 30 minutes.
Someone
Uncle
said
Trucker Channel getting a really early start tomorrow morning. How early, I can't tell you yet.
Hmm.
How early's real early?
Like the possibility before you get out of bed early.
That's anything before noon, dude.
I usually wake up around 6. Are you going to be off before that?
Yes. We're talking 5:30 a.m.
That's 10:30 my time. I'll still be in bed by that, yeah.
It's that bad?
I rest my case. Yes.
Hmm.
It's not, and then again, like I said, I'm a fucking night owl, so the chances are I'm usually in bed by the time you start anyway, still.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Stream same time tomorrow. Oh, hell be well, you're all a bunch of cunts. Goodbye.
Bye.